Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for inviting me in your private space. And I am really glad and honored that we are going to spend the next 15, 20 minutes together and dive into the Magdalene mysteries. Did you ever hear about Mary Magdalene? Probably from the story of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, right? Or have you started being called by her? Did you start reading books about her life, who she really was? And if you're watching this video, it's probably because you have. And maybe in the recent months, you've really felt that call to learn more about who she was. This is because Mary Magdalene is here to teach you something about who you are. You know, this idea where we all mirror each other. And usually, when we are triggered by someone, it's because we see something in them that we don't really like about ourselves or that we are not allowing ourselves to do, right? Or when we compliment someone, it's also because we are seeing something beautiful, some genius and talents that we also have inside of us. Well, Magdalene is not a name, it's a title, it's a frequency, and it's a frequency that you carry as well. This is why you're being called to learn about Mary Magdalene. So let's dive into those Magdalene mysteries and uncover what it means for you, your purpose, and your role on the planet, and the shift in consciousness that we are currently experiencing. Before we do so, let me introduce myself really quick. I'm Eleanor de Posson. I'm Belgian, currently living in Bali. You can see the palm trees, but we are going back to Canada where we have our house, our community, our friends, our life is there. And I'm a spiritual teacher, a mystery teacher, and a healer. And I'm really here to help you and all other women that are connected to their hearts awaken and remember who they came here to be. Connect with their highest potential, step into their unique purpose, soul, mission, and embody their divine feminine energy. Because all of that is really connected. I've been on this path for many lifetimes, but really in this lifetime, I would say it's been 5 years since I'm really devoted to that mission. Although my spiritual journey started a really long time ago, mostly when I was 18. And so this is enough about me. If you want to learn more about me, you can have a look on my website, eleonordeposson.com. I have a podcast called the Sacred Roots Podcast, and I also wrote 2 beautiful books. One is called The Self-Healing Spiral. The other one is The Path of Femininity, the 6 Gifts of Your Sovereignty. If you're interested in embodying your divine feminine more, you might want to go and check that book out, The Path of Femininity. All right, enough about me. Let's talk about Magdalene. Let's talk about you. So, we all know Mary Magdalene as one of the apostles, right? Well, she was the apostle of the apostle. She was actually the wife of Jesus. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene, that is a hidden gospel, and a lot of channeled books now really come together to share that story that she was the wife of Jesus. But she was much more than his wife. She was his spiritual equal. They were actually teaching together, hand in hand, because Jesus and Mary Magdalene, sitting together in front of people, were incarnating the sacred union. They were really representing the perfect connection of the divine masculine and divine feminine. Mary Magdalene is the embodiment of the divine feminine. And just like many women, she's been called a witch, she's been called a bitch, she's been called a whore, a prostitute, because she had such a strong aura, she had such a strong power, such healing abilities, such independence. And her power was really scary for patriarchy at the time, because patriarchy already existed for 500 years at the time. And so a lot of men did not accept or understand her power. And even though Jesus said that she was the apostle that understood and knew it all, that really triggered a lot of people. and particularly the church that was trying to control women for so many reasons, but we don't have time to dive into that today. And so when you are called to learn more about Mary Magdalene, it's because your soul is inviting you to come back to your power. Heal that witch wound, heal that bitch wound, heal that whore wound. Use your spiritual gifts, your wisdom to help others, to teach, to serve. Set boundaries and honor yourself, because when you do so, that's when you actually honor others most. Step into your beauty, your sensuality, your sexuality, because that is a doorway to the divine. And Mary Magdalene embodied all of that. And she is helping you remember. And so I shared in the beginning of this video that Magdalene and Mary Magdalene is actually not her name, it's a title. In the Bible, she was known as Mary of Bethany because she came from the village of Bethany. And Mary is a title in and of itself. That's why we have Mother Mary, Mary of Tiana, Mary of Bethany, Mary Salome. There are so many Marys around Jesus, right? Because they were all priestesses. Mary is a priestess title that means the beloved, in reference to the beloved mother, the goddess. Because we have to understand that the patriarchy already existed when Jesus and Mary Magdalene were born, but there was still a very big goddess worship that was present. It was taught in the mystery school, it was hidden, but before the patriarchy started 2,500 years ago, it was all about the goddess worship, and the beloved was the goddess, the divine. And so Mary, it's connected to the word mère in French, the mother, also the sea. So the element of water, the sea, the ocean represents the divine mother as well. That's like water mysteries as well that we could dive into. But so Mary was that title that priestesses were receiving when they were initiated and they incarnated the divine mother, the goddess, when they were acting as a bridge for themselves and for those around them. And so Magdalene was another title that she received because she was a very highly evolved human and spiritual being. And she did a lot of initiations in the mystery schools of Egypt and India, in Brittany as well. Britain, sorry. And so she received that title of the Magdalene. And Magdalene can be translated in different ways. It can be translated as the great, but also the doorway, the portal. And so Mary Magdalene basically means the doorway to the great mother. Mary Magdalene was the great mother incarnate, and she was helping everybody remember the great mother, the goddess. She was acting as a doorway to the great mother. That's what her title means. And she received that title because of the frequency that she carried and because of the role that she had, bringing Christ consciousness and being the female Christ on earth. And so today there is something that exists that is known as the Magdalene order, because Magdalene is a title. And right now on earth, there are a lot of Magdalenes. I am a Magdalene, and you are probably a Magdalene as well. And let's dive into what that actually really means. All right, let me have a look at my notes. So I'm sure that I am not forgetting anything. Yes, that's what I wanted to share. The Magdalene frequency can be present as well in men as in women. Because the role really of the Magdalenes is to support the shift in consciousness that we are in and support the comeback, the embodiment, the awakening, the arising of the divine feminine. Because like I was saying before, until 2,500 years ago, for 200,000 years, We were in goddess societies, in matristic societies. It was all about the great mother, the creator was feminine. And then patriarchy arrived, and we've seen the imbalance that this created: war, violence, competition, women being pushed down. And that was very detrimental to women, but also to men, because men have also been disconnected from their feminine energy, which means disconnected from their intuition, disconnected from their emotion, struggling to love themselves, always having to compete, always having to be the best, being aggressive, violent. Men are also suffering from this. And so now there are men and women that are both coming with this Magdalene frequency to support the rising of the divine feminine, to support this shift in consciousness that we are in, because this shift of consciousness is only going to happen if we can all come back to our feminine energy. And that doesn't mean that we need to push away the masculine, not at all, because we need both. We need sacred union, just like Jesus and Mary Magdalene were embodying it together. But everything begins with the feminine. When we look at nature, we see it. Every man comes from the womb of a mother. Every day, which is the night, which is the masculine, starts at night, at midnight, when it's the feminine. And so everything begins with the feminine. And the feminine is the visionary. The feminine is the one that's tapped in, that's intuitive. And then the masculine creates the structure, holds space for the feminine to thrive. So we really need both. But because we live in so much imbalance, we need to come back to the feminine, embody that within ourselves, be led by our intuition, by our soul, learn to receive, learn to be instead of doing so much. And once we have embodied that feminine, we can call in the sacred masculine and create that sacred union. And so men and women are both supporting that in a little bit of different ways, but they're going in the same direction and have the same purpose. And that purpose deep down is to seed the light. As a Magdalene, you have a frequency that is radiant. You are the light. And you've probably been told that when you step into a room, you just light up the room, that you are magnetic. People want to talk to you. Maybe people have already told you, they didn't even know you, and they were like, I really like your energy. Or there's something about you, because they can feel it, even though they're not always aware of it. Your purpose as a Magdalene is to seed the light. And you've been doing that, whether you are aware of it or not, since you were born. And this is why really often Magdalenes bring the light in some of the darkest places. This means that you've had your fair share of difficult experiences in your life. You've probably been born in a family that is dysfunctional. You've probably had traumas. Maybe you were in certain abusive relationships. And it's because of your purity, the purity of your heart, because of your innocence, and that very high frequency light that your soul brought you to have those experiences so that you could bring the light to those experiences. And sometimes it can feel like you are a victim because these things are happening to you. The truth is that you are not a victim, you are a volunteer. You volunteered to come back in this very special moment in time, to participate in this shift of consciousness, to seed the light. And you've chosen, this is part of your destiny, some of those experiences, siblings, parents that you were born to. And if you can make it through those experiences and they don't break your spirit, your soul, if you're here, probably you have gone through those experiences and you grew stronger from it. But mostly you freed yourself from the master programming that is present in our society and in those dark places. And by freeing yourself, you are now able to show others how to free themselves too. How to reconnect with their light. how to connect with their gifts, their purpose, their essence, and create a life on their own terms, where they are the light as well. And so a Magdalene is someone that has volunteered and that is here to see the light and participate in the shift of consciousness and bringing the divine feminine back on earth within us at an individual and collective level. So let me share with you now some of the characteristics of a Magdalene so that you can really know, oh yes, this is really me. Everything that you've been saying, it is really resonating with me. But now with these characteristics, you're going to be like, all right, yes. So listen with your heart and let yourself be seen. So Magdalene is someone that has compassion and empathy for all of life and all of people. Magdalene is someone that lives from the heart. Magdalene is someone who honors the sanctity of all life and who sees the interconnectedness of everything. Magdalene is someone also that has evolved so much throughout different lifetimes that she or he is able to do her inner work herself. You can look at your shadows, you can look at your triggers. You're aware that they are teaching you something about you. And so Magdalene is also someone that is willing to look inside and to do the shadow work, and also to look inside to find the answers. Because all the answers are always inside of you, if you can listen. And Magdalene is someone that knows that the divine starts within. Yes, the divine is also everywhere around us, in these beautiful roses, in the ocean, in the trees, but it's inside of you as well. So you can connect with that. And as a present day Magdalene, you've been initiated for many lifetimes to do this. You've been preparing for this. So maybe you have memories, or you've had dreams, or you have flashbacks of time in ancient Egypt, ancient Greek, ancient Greece, maybe in Britain with the Druids, the Celts. And it's important for you to know that maybe this feels like a heavy burden of like, oh my God, I came to see the light. Well, the light is you. You don't have to do much because you are that light. This is why I was saying whether you are aware of it or not, you're already doing that work. You're being the lighthouse. You're seething the light in some of the darkest places because the light is you. And yes, you can do more and you can support others. And so don't worry about the how, because you also have the how inside of you. You have trained for this for lifetimes. You have the wisdom, the gifts, the creativity, the strength as well to bring that light forth and help others with that light. And so I want to share with you, to finish this presentation, a few ways that you can reclaim your Magdalene lineage, that you can activate it at a deeper level and let it guide you in your life. The first way is really to find peace and balance of the different elements, the feminine, the masculine, the fire, the water, the earth, the air. Find peace and balance within yourself. Because as you embody that balance, it is simply going to radiate and impact others. And there's no better leadership than embodiment. True leaders don't have to say much. They just embody it. And it's that embodiment, it's that light that just does the teaching for you, or the helping or the serving for you. So create that balance of masculine and feminine within yourself first and find peace in doing that. The second way that you can reclaim your Magdalene lineage is to call upon the wisdom and the energy and the strength of all. Call upon the wisdom of your lineage. Call upon the wisdom of the order of the Magdalenes, because there are Magdalenes on earth, but also in the spiritual realm. Call upon your spirit guides and that counsel that can support you, because that's why they're there. They want to support you. The third way to reclaim that lineage is to Fine tune your connection with your soul, fine tune your connection with your intuition. Make sure that you hear it, that you feel it, that you sense it, and follow it. Trust it. Take time to increase your intuition. Take time in silence to listen, to receive. Meditate in the morning. What does my soul want to do today? How can I express my Magdalene presence into the world? And the last thing that I want to share with you is a little text that I'm just going to read to you. We have waited millennia for you, beloved ones of the Magdalene order, to come forth, birthed in great numbers upon this plain, so that through your desire for change, for a better world, your dedication, your passion, and your willingness to endure whatever it takes, all life may now be uplifted, may be free, and may know itself as God fully realized. We are the midwives of this shift of consciousness. Let that sink in. I really invite you to choose one of those 3 different ways that I shared with you of how you can reclaim your Magdalene lineage. And if you want to dive more into Magdalene mysteries, into feminine mysteries, reach out to me, have a look on my website, because I have a mystery school that does a really beautiful 9-month journey from September until June, where we are going to activate all these codes inside of you and help you remember all the parts of you so that you can fully step into who you came here to be in this lifetime. Thank you so much for listening to me. Take time now to let this sink in. Go and have a bath with Epsom salt. Maybe take some lavender essential oils. Smell the roses. Let this wisdom, this remembrance activate that Magdalene frequency inside of you. I'm sending you so much love, and I hope to see you soon.